action.
Good day. How are you? Welcome. Jay, you get a haircut?
I did indeed.
You're looking sexy, mate.
I thought being behind the camera I should look good, really good.
So tell us everyone, do you think Jay should be on this side? Do you think so? Sure? No?
They've never seen me.
One day you'll get to see Jay. But at the moment, you get to see lamb. Today, we're going to do a very simple lamb dish because people seem to think lamb takes about 3-4 hours. One thing we're going to use today to speed things up is this. It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Look at that, look. And we're going to make it like a Karahi style dish where it's lamb, lots of garlic, lots of ginger, bit of spice, not too hot, touch of yogurt, but this is part of the express lessons that we do. So we show you how to do something. When you get home at night, you haven't got time to have 3 hours, but you want that authentic taste. Yeah, it's a leg of lamb that's been cubed, and I've taken most of the fat off. You see, it's been trimmed. We got some onions, of course. Okay, that's garlic, ginger. We've got here, have a look. This is fenugreek leaves called kasturi fenugreek or methi, and it's like a dry herb. It's an amazing flavor, and it's got a lot of fragrance. So what that's going to do is give our dish sort of umptiousness. So let's get started, yeah?
Awesome.
Well, first thing first, this is 500 grams, half a kilo. So it's 2 to 3 people. Okay. Depends how hungry you are. So this is going to roughly chop. So the onion chopping and the way the onions are cut for most dishes makes a big difference. Yeah, if you do it very finely, you can get a very fine sauce. If you're doing something where you're cooking it quite a long time, you can actually have it a bit more chunky. So this one, we're using a pressure cooker, so it will break down quicker. And the more onions you use, thicker you have the gravy or the sauce. So we're just going to...
You're going to cut the chili today?
Look, we're just doing a little slit. We're just going to put that in there. So I'd say about a nice teaspoon and a half.
Of
Garlic. Fresh garlic minced. Same with ginger. So it's about a teaspoon salt. Now we're going for our whole spices. Watch carefully. So we've got the Indian bay leaves. Indian bay leaf going in.
That sounds like a sports team.
Black cardamon. So just one because it gives a nice smoky flavor. About 4 cloves. 7 or 8 peppercorns. So we've got Indian cassia. I've got some mace. This is a new one. You know what mace is? You know what nutmeg is?
Yeah.
But this is the covering around the nutmeg. It's a little name. So that gives a nice sort of warming flavor. So we got 3 cardamoms. Now you don't have to crack that. So I just want this sort of infused flavor rather than the actual flavor of the seeds. Some cumin. Sprinkle that in. A little bit of coriander, chopped. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to stew the meat. I'll just put in about 250 mils. I'll put 300 altogether. So what this is going to do, the lamb in there is going to infuse all the flavor from the onions, the garlic, the ginger, and the whole spices. So what that does, it's like a sponge. So usually you pan fry the meat first and seal it in. But this way we're doing the opposite. It's like a reverse sear. So we're infusing the flavor into the meat.
So pan fry this afterwards.
That's the secret. So we'll put this on here. So I'm going to cook it on here on high heat till it gets to about 3 whistles. So now, more onions. We need onions. So now we're going to make a base, a sauce. So now put it on high heat now. Show you how much. There's quite a bit of oil is going to come in here because remember there's no oil in the pressure cooker. So now just let that heat up. And how do you check if the oil's hot? You put an onion in there, and once the onion starts floating to the top and starts browning, we know it's getting quite hot. Look. Add that sizzle now. Something wrong. Now we're going to cook the onions quite slowly, get them nice and brown, and we're going to get the caramelization, a bit of sweetness, because what we do is the onions, the tomato, the garlic, ginger, we're reducing the water from it. So once the water reduces, you're left with the sugars. And the sugars combined with all the spices brings that sauce, and you add the water and you're like making this, what did I say before? Umptious sauce, because you just want to eat more. You just want more. That's why curry is addictive. We add a bit of salt. Remember, we've got a lot of salt already in there. So just a little bit, just to help the onions brown. Touch of methi. And have you noticed I've used no whole spices in here at all? This is going to be a very, very plain onion, garlic, ginger, and the spices. Where the lamb, that has all the whole spices. And then we're going to add that back into this. And then infuse everything. So, look, these have been cooking through nicely. They're not browning yet. I've just cooked it slow. They're softening. If you cook it too quickly as well, you get a bitter taste. So you've got to be gentle. You have to caress the onions. You have to make them feel loved. You have to slowly get the flavor out.
Because they have so many layers.
Exactly. They're complicated. But they're the most important part of all these curries here. Unless you don't eat onions, but then, well, don't come to my class because I can't do it.
Any you could switch out for the onions?
Yes, we can. Look. There's people in India, a lot of people that don't eat onions, they don't eat garlic, they don't eat ginger. So there are dishes.
How do they get along?
Well, they use like asafoetida. It's like I wouldn't say a spice, like a spice, sort of a bark of a tree. So I don't want to take it too brown yet, because I'm going to add the garlic and ginger now and slowly cook that out. Now a lot of people, they make it really brown, then they put the garlic and ginger, and they don't cook out the garlic and ginger. Remember, we've got lots of garlic and ginger in that. This is a flavoursome dish. So we're going to add a bit more ginger, about a teaspoon. This is about a teaspoon. Garlic. That's just the water sizzling out. And there goes whistle number 1. Yep, it's a steam. It is steam engine. This is like steam pot. So that's why I said while that's cooking, you get the sauce ready. You'll be amazed. So the pressure cooker, I know a lot of people are a bit scared of using a pressure cooker. So it's about energy saving. So this saves you a lot of energy. See, that's 2. So it's about 7-8 minutes. It does that, boils everything up, and you will cook quicker. So you can cook more dishes in a shorter amount of time, and use less energy. And well, the meat, etc. If you have meat or pulses, they cook really quick, and they soften really quick. And yeah, it helps you make amazing dishes quickly, especially when you got guests around, or it's late evening, after work. You just haven't got time. But you want flavoursome food. You want things that are nutritious. And so 3 whistles. I'm going to switch that off for now. So now we'll concentrate on this. And as you can see, it's starting to stick a bit. So this is non-stick. You can use a non-stick if you want, but I like that. Some of the garlic and the onion, the sticking, and that's adding flavour. It's concentrating.
Oh, when it sticks to the pan?
Yeah, it sticks to the pan. We don't want it to burn. That's the trick. Because it's browning a lot now. So I'm going to add a bit of spices now. Turn the heat down a little bit. The basic curry that I make, I use just over a teaspoon of turmeric. I like turmeric. Some people use less turmeric. I like a bit more because it adds a nice bit of color. Kashmiri chili powder. Remember, this is not a full teaspoon. This is about 2/3. Okay, that's Kashmiri chili powder. This is cumin. A bit more cumin because I like the flavor. So a very earthy flavor. Same with coriander. It gives it very earthy. And then this is my homemade garam masala.
Garam masala.
So that gives a nice warming flavors to it. And a touch of black pepper. And that's it. That's very simple. Have a look at the colors now changing. Chili powder, red. So can you see it's that nice brown color there? So what we're going to do is add concentrated tomato puree, about a teaspoon. What we want is to cook that out. So we're building layers here without burning. That's the key thing. So that's about half a tomato, this size. That's that half. I'm just going to add that to it. This gravy, a touch of coriander. Now this sauce you could actually use even if it's for chicken or vegetables, etc. Because it's a very basic curry sauce. Because who's got time? So add a touch of splash of water just to deglaze. We're starting to deglaze the pan. And this is on a fairly low heat because I don't want it to burn, and then it's coming off now. It's dissolving into the sauce. So now we're built. Okay. And that's a concentrated curry sauce basically. So we're going to cook that out now. What I want is to cook the tomatoes out a bit. You see? You can chop them more finer, but that gives me a timing device because once these tomatoes are broken down, and I don't want to put too much, I've put the tomato puree in there, and these tomatoes, once they're broken down a bit, then I know my curry sauce, the concentrate, the base is almost ready. And then I can add the meat. This you could actually do at home. I'm going to put the lid on just to help it steam. You can leave this, but I'm going to release the steam because I can. We're going to use that stock. It's full of flavor, but now I'm going to add the lamb. And all the onions is fine, all the spices. Now it starts frying. Like you said before, we start frying.
Everything's now coming together.
Now we're coming together. So if you have time, you can pre-cook this, the lamb, and then you can cook the sauce. Because as you saw, it doesn't take long. You know, we're actually doing this in fairly real time. So you can start making a buna. And the buna is like frying with less water, and you thicken it to make it buna. And there's also another word called shani, which basically what we're doing is infusing the cooked spices. Because what you don't want is raw spices, and that's a problem I've found in many restaurants where they chuck in spices afterwards, they don't cook it out. If you don't cook spices out in oil, you have a powdery flavor in your mouth, and it can also make you sick. That's another thing. So that's why we always cook things out. We take our time. Even when you're doing a quick curry like this, take the extra couple of minutes, and as you can see, look at this. That alone is almost there, see? But now it hasn't got much sauce. Remember I said it's going to dissolve into the sauce, all the onions. So this is what's happening now. We're just frying off all the onions and the garlic and the lamb, and that's, you can eat it now. So what are we going to do? Start adding. Put on high heat. Again, deglazing. So because of high heat, it's going to start reducing very quickly, and we're adding lots of depth to this sauce. So as you can see, it's like risotto now. I'm just adding a little bit as we go along. I'm cooking at high heat. The lamb is almost tender, and the tomatoes. Can you remember the tomatoes? Look.
Yeah.
That's the tomatoes broken down now. That's a bit of skin. When the tomato starts breaking down, that's when it's ready to add water in. A bit of full fat yogurt. Some people say, yeah, it's going to split and all that, but you know what? It doesn't. You cook it nicely. You break it in there. Seasoning. Oh, that is actually beautiful dish. Now I'm going to put the heat down a little bit. A bit of coriander, slowly separating the oil. So lots of coriander in this dish because garam masala, sprinkle a little bit at the end, so it gives it a nice warming flavor without it being spicy hot. Can you see how that gravy, the sauce, is so silky? And this.
Would you serve this with rice and naan?
Well, you can have some roti, naan bread. A very simple lamb karahi, an express version utilizing the pressure cooker and a karahi. Anyone can do this at home, I'm sure. And if you can't, then come, I'll teach you how to do it step by step at my cooking classes in Pretoria, South Africa. Remember, lifeisspice.com. Please subscribe. I think it's here at the button. Yeah, the button's here. Subscribe. Leave a comment, but only a nice comment. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye.